Okay, so we're going to start on our back and just a gentle heart opening. So make sure that you have a blanket or a towel. You're going to have it, so it's about maybe an inch thick. Place it on the mat so that you have enough room, maybe a third of the way down. So your head can rest on the mat, right? We don't want that head on the floor. And we're just going to lay down with our shoulders, right in line with the edge, the folded edge of the blanket or the towel. And then we're going to walk the feet all the way out to the edges. Let those knees fall into one another. And then let the arms drape open, shoulder height, palms facing up. And begin to breathe here, maybe even a few deep breaths in and out through the mouth before we close down the mouth and start breathing through the nose. Quieting the mind, settling the body. Taking a little time to explore where you are right now, how the body's feeling, any places where you feel gripping, tension, softening, visualizing that release, right? Like we have that grasp, those closed fists, and just opening them up and surrendering, yielding to the body. Yielding to gravity, yielding to a softness, to a peace. So often we think of the word surrender as a negative. They say the body surrenders, right? That we've given up. But that's not really accurate. Surrendering is that opening, that yielding, that allowing for something to enter. We're not shutting ourselves down or closing ourselves off. Slowly beginning to lengthen and stretch our breath. Maybe counting our breath just to focus the mind a little bit more deeply. Counting the inhales and the exhales. As we do, we notice the pause, that gap between the inhale and the exhale. The exhale, the inhale. Feeling the movement of the belly, the ribs, the chest. Expanding, contracting. Take a big breath in together. Hold it at the top and then open the mouth and exhale, let it go. And just for today, we'll do an Om, just to kind of open up the throat. You can inhale. I find when I hum or when I Om, it helps open up my nasal passages, clears a little bit of phlegm. All these things can be really helpful and good. Let those knees come apart. On your next exhale, drop the knees over to the left and then look over the right shoulder. We're trying to draw that right knee down, right? We're trying to draw that right shoulder down, stretching out the muscles in the leg and the right side body. And then inhaling, taking it back to center. We exhale, legs go to the right, gaze to the left. Again, it's still early, so maybe taking your time as you draw that left knee down to the ground. Maybe it doesn't even touch, doesn't have to. Just notice the lengthening happening through that side body. And again, let's bring it back up through center. Finding a little bit more here, matching breath to movement. We'll take our inhale, exhale, knees to the left, gaze to the right. All the way out, and then inhale all the way up through center. Exhale, knees to the right, gaze to the left. Let that final bit of air all the way out before you inhale, and you bring the knees back up to center. One more time. Following your pace, matching your breath to movement. Just allowing the body to flow fluidly with the breath. And then as you come back through center, straightening out that spine, let's go ahead and bring those feet right up underneath the hips, and we'll cross that right ankle on top of the left knee. So before we even lift the leg, I want you to feel this action of drawing that right knee away from you, so you can already feel a little bit of a strain in that right hip as that right hip starts to open, and press down actively through that left foot. So we feel how the belly begins to turn on. We draw that belly button in and up, and then we lift the legs, flexing the feet. Let's lift the head, look at our legs, and then take the hands around the outside of the shin or the outside of the thigh. Keep looking up, flexing into those feet, drawing that left leg toward you, that right knee away from you. And then on your next exhale, see if you can't release your head back to the floor. Find the breath. On your next inhale, straighten that left leg. Point and flex the toes, maybe even some circles with the ankle, one direction then the other. So we're just sort of getting into those synovial fluids of the ankle of that left foot. Keep flexing into the right. And then let's go ahead and bring that leg back down. Shin is parallel to the floor. Release the arms back out, and then go ahead and take both legs to the left. So the left leg and the right foot touches down. Press that ankle into that upper part of the knee, and then let that right knee push up towards sky. On your next breath, release the knee, bringing that right knee towards the earth. You might get a couple of cracks and pops in the spine. And then let that right knee come on top of the left and bring both feet back to center. Straighten out the spine, get yourself back into a nice neutral position. Cross that left ankle over the right knee. Same thing here. Start with that action, turning on the muscles, turning on the legs here, pressing down into that right foot, flexing into the feet. Yeah, we feel that energy, that momentum, and then we lift the legs up. We look up and we reach the hands underneath the thigh or around the shin. Hold here and pull that belly in towards the spine. And then slowly release the head back down. Good. Draw that left knee away. Feel that action. Flex into the foot. And then starting to straighten that right leg. We point and flex the toes. Again, maybe some snap, crackle, pops are happening here too. I know they are for me. If you rotate the ankle, make sure you're doing it in both directions, right? Kind of really digging in there. And then gently bringing that shin back to parallel to the floor. We'll release the hands back out to the side and then gently exhale over to the right. The right foot, the left foot and the right leg touch down. We press the ankle into the top of the knee and we let that left knee press up towards sky. Breathing here, slowly release the right knee down to the earth. You may notice one side might be a little bit more open than the other. One side may not be as willing to participate or cooperate. You may have to work a little harder. Very normal. Sometimes we tend to have one side of the body that just makes it a little bit more challenging for us. All right, gently bring that left knee on top of the right. And then again, bring both feet back to center. Squaring off those hips again, neutralizing the spine. We're gonna inhale, reach the arms up overhead and let those legs grow long on the mat. Open and close the fists and point and flex the toes. All right, so again, just a little bit of movement here. And then on your next exhale, pull those knees into the chest, round all the way up. Give yourself a nice hug. Let's take one more of those. Open, long, arms up, legs stretch out. And then we make ourselves into that little seed, into that little ball. We round all the way up. And then as we're ready, we just rock ourselves up to a seat. So you can sit on the back of that blanket if you like, or you just move it off to the side. We'll sit up tall here, crossing the legs, something that's comfortable for you. Right, get those sits bones rooted down into the earth. And from here, we're just going to drop the right ear over to the right shoulder. We're going to let the left fingers come to the side body, maybe off the mat. And then that right hand, if you'd like, can sort of reach up and over to that left temple. And just gently draw a little bit of length through the left side of the neck. Slowly release, bring that head down, chin to the chest, and then let the right fingers come over to the right side of the mat. Inhale, left arm can come up, and we're going to bring the head over to the left. We're going to reach up with that left hand. Just going to draw. Again, just gently, right? So as that right hand is reaching out, we're finding some length here. We're dropping the shoulders. So it's just a little stretch. You can feel a little bit of intensity, but not too much. And then slowly release that left hand, drop the chin to the chest. We're just going to continue this journey as we round, pulling the belly button in, feeling ourselves, our spine is moving back. And then inhale, we're going to lift, open the chest, look up, stretch the neck. Inhale, arms come up and over the head. Let's go ahead and interlace the thumbs. We're going to round again, draw the belly in, chin to chest, fingertips are pointing forward. And then inhale, we're going to sweep up, chest lifts. One more time, rounding and exhaling. Reach those fingertips forward energetically. And then inhale, coming upright. Good. Go ahead and let those fingertips float down. We're going to come up onto hands and knees into a tabletop here. So the rest of the shoulders are in line, the hips and the heels. We're going to take a deep breath in as we tuck those toes under and find downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So take your time here as you pedal out the feet, right? Shifting into one hip, then the other. Play a little bit. Come up onto both tippy toes, and then let those heels come back down. Maybe even shift your weight back a little bit and see if you can't lift up the toes and release the toes down. Soften the throat, the face, the jaw. And then inhale, let's come forward into a plank. Hold here in plank. We're going to lift the right leg, and then we're going to draw the knee into the chest and round through the spine. So it's this lifting action, right? So our hips are coming up a little bit here. We're pulling the belly button in. We're rounding our head towards our knee. And then we're going to just reach back, find that length and into that plank again with that right leg lifted. One more time, round, pull in and hold. And then take it back. Reach back through that right foot. Crown of the head is long. Let that right foot come to the floor, come to the knees. Take a child's pose just for a breath. Reach those fingertips long. And then inhale, come back through center. Good, tuck those toes. Press it back, downward facing dog. We're gonna do the other side. Take a nice deep breath here in down dog, and then inhale, flow forward into a nice strong plank. We're gonna reach that left leg long behind us, and then draw that knee into the chest, round, lift up a little bit into that arched back. Reach the head long, foot back, plank pose. Again, belly draws in, shoulder blades rounding away from one another. Last time, shoulder blades move together on the back, crown of the head, reaching long. Release the right foot, come to the knees. Child's pose. Reach those fingers long, make this active. Big breath in and out. And then inhale, coming back into table. Tuck those toes under, finding downward dog again. Take a full deep breath in and out. Come up onto those tippy toes, bend the knees, pull the belly towards the thighs, and then stretch those heels back to the floor. Look forward, you can make your way to the top of the mat. Coming into a nice standing forward fold. Mary, this is going to be a couple of your last forward folds for a while. Shake the head, yes and no. Maybe even a sway side to side. A little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. And then finding that stillness. Let's bend the knees, inhale, root to rise. Arms up and over the head. Interlace those thumbs again. Like a little butterfly. And inhale, come up onto those tippy toes. We're going to find ourselves here in a little bit of a balance challenge. Arms reaching up. Heels are lifted. And then exhale. Go ahead and release all the way down. This time, take the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. And then exhale over the legs. Reach those arms up and over the head. Hold here and breathe. Good. Now gently just let those arms float to the mat. Look at your feet and walk them apart. So let them maybe come out towards the wide edge, to the edges of the mat, yeah? And then we're gonna sink into Malasana. So we're just gonna drop our seat down. We're gonna lift the chest. We're gonna bring our arms into prayer, and I'll turn this way so you can see, right? So we're gonna try and lift the chest, pull those knees apart, maybe a little bit of pressure with the elbows here. And we're gonna take a couple of rounds of cat and cow, just from this position. So again, we're gonna round. This might feel super nice. Draw that chin into the chest. Pull that belly in. And then inhale. Go ahead and try to lift that chest. Look up, gaze lifts. If you'd like to explore maybe your hands on the knees to do this, or even by your ankles, exhale, round, pull that belly in. And then inhale, lift. One more time, exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Good, bring those hands to the floor. And then lift your seat just about so that you're sort of parallel, right? Your spine is sort of parallel to the floor here. Your hands are down. Reach the crown of the head forward. As you pull that belly button in and up, maybe you just stay here and you shift left and right. Maybe you can take those arms out like you're flying. Maybe to make it a little bit more challenging, those fingertips come forward. And we're just gonna keep that seat nice and low. We're gonna shift our weight back and press out through the outside edges of the feet, squeezing those inner thighs together. Last breath here. Release the hands to the floor. Come back into that malasana. Take a breath. Sometimes it's nice too to do a little gentle rocking here. That often feels super nice. All right, let's bring those hands back to the floor and do that one more time. Press down into the hands, lift the seat. Spine is long, crown of the head is long. Maybe those arms reach out. Holding and breathing, we're building strength. And then exhale, take it back down, find your malasana. Close the eyes. Good, bring those hands to the floor. We're gonna make our way into a forward fold. You can walk those feet back underneath you, right underneath those hips. And we're gonna bend the knees and we're gonna step back with that left foot. Come down onto that left knee and inhale. Find a low lunge with those arms reaching up. So knit those ribs together. Draw that right hip back. We're trying to squeeze those inner thighs together, even though they're not touching. Exhale, bring both hands to the floor. Tuck those back toes and send the right foot back, downward dog. Inhale, flow forward, find your plank. And then exhale, take a vinyasa of your choice. You can come into knees, chest, chin. If you'd like to do chaturanga, dandasana, feel free to do that. Coming up into a cobra or baby cobra, or maybe even an upward facing dog. Exhale, bringing yourself back down to the mat. And finding your way back through table or plank into downward facing dog. Great place to recenter, to find that breath, to surrender, to yield to your body, to yield to the flow of the breath. Looking forward, again, find your way to the top of the mat, standing forward fold. We're just gonna reach back with the hands, interlace the fingers, put your opposite thumb on top, and open the chest as you draw your arms over the head. Gently release the hands back to the floor, bend the knees, step the right foot back, come down onto that right knee, and then find your lunge on the other side. So keep this active, right? Really squeeze those thighs together. Sure, we can be lazy in this pose and just hang out here, right? Or we can be active, reaching those fingertips long. Drawing that right foot back. Bending that left foot, that left hip. Our gaze, our drishti is intentional. We're looking at something in front of us that's not moving. And then exhale, plant those hands. Tuck the back toe, step that left foot back to meet the right. Again, downward facing dog. Inhale, flow forward, find your plank. Let that right foot lift and then exhale, round up into that cheetah. Reach it back. One more, pull it in. Right foot back and then release it. Let's go ahead and lift that left leg. Exhale, round and lift. Take it back. One more. And inhale back, release that right foot. Find downward facing dog. Let's let that left foot stay heavy and sweep that right leg up, finding a three-legged dog. Toes are pointing down. We're rotating that inward rotation of that right leg. From here, we're just gonna pull forward, coming into that rounding cheetah action again, and step the right foot between your hands. Come onto the heel of that left foot, and then find your way into a warrior two. So again, whether you cartwheel or you just walk your hands up your thigh, either way, we want to drop down. We want to open up those hips. It's an external rotation of that back leg. We're pressing outward through the outside edge of that back foot, right? We're opening up that right thigh. Arms are parallel to the floor, and our gaze, our drishti, over those front fingers. Reversing the warrior, take that right arm up, maybe even gaze back. And then find your way back to warrior two. Take one more of those, sweep that right arm up and overhead. And then again, warrior two. We're gonna drop that right elbow onto the right knee. Now your left hand, we have some options here. You can just sort of wrap it around your back to sort of sexy roll and work that left shoulder open. Maybe you'd like to reach that left arm up towards the sky. Maybe that palm starts to come over the head, right? So the arm is sort of grazing the ear here with a nice strong line of energy from the heel of the left foot out through those fingertips, right? And we're lifting through that right side body as we're stretching that left side body. And then press up, come back through warrior two. We're gonna do that again. We're maybe take it a little bit deeper. Drop that elbow. Again, yogi's choice. You can take that arm around and sort of work it into that inner right thigh. Arm can reach up, possibly extend over the ear. And then we can sort of work our way into a little bit more of a challenge here. If you have a block, right, that block can sort of come to the inner leg and we can sort of work our way down a little bit more, but we're still lifting that right side body. Some of you are going to be able to release that hand altogether and find a bind with that chest opening. Wherever you are, just breathe. All right, press out through the feet. Find yourself back into your warrior two. Reverse the warrior. And then cartwheel the hands to the floor. Right followed by left. We're going to come onto the ball of that right foot. We're going to twist open to the right arm up. And we're going to come back through center. That right hand is going to come to the inside of that right foot. And we're going to turn to the long edge of the mat. We're in a wide forward fold here. Slowly let the crown of the head release to the floor. Maybe you walk those hands back. Take one last breath. Coming back up, we're going to turn those left toes to the back of the mat, and we're going to come onto the ball of that right foot. So we're now in a little lunge here on the back of the mat. Place the right hand down, we're going to twist left. Open that left arm up, find that twist. So we're sort of in reverse, yeah? Gently release that hand, come down onto the back leg, and we're going to make our way up into warrior two on the other side. So we're just facing the back of the mat. We're back in our warrior two, nice strong stance. Let that gaze be soft. Let those ribs lift away from the hips. And gently reverse the warrior. So maybe we gaze back at that back foot. We find our way back to warrior two. One more time, sweep up. And flow back into a warrior two. Good. Taking that left elbow to the left knee. Maybe you want to lengthen your standing leg. Right, this is a wide angle pose or side angle pose. So it's our legs are pretty much in their longest yogic position. Again, we're not dumping into our shoulders, right? We're sort of reaching away from the earth. Yield, surrender. Inhale, warrior two. Taking it down again. Again, making your own decision based on your practice, right? You stop the minute you feel that chest start to kind of roll towards the ground. We're going to keep everything nice and open. So you make that decision for yourself, right? Which of krama or stage is best for you. And that's where you work. That's where you find your peace and your ease and a little bit of effort. Slowly press out through the feet. Find your warrior two. Reverse the warrior and back into warrior two. Hands come to the hips. Straighten that front leg and turn those toes in. Heels in, toes in. Take those hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Exhale, fold over the legs. Let those arms come up and over the head. You might feel a mild shaking happening in the thighs. Slowly let those hands release to the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Walk those hands back. Slowly bringing those hands forward. Turn those right toes back to the top of the mat. Turn those left toes. Let's go ahead and step that right foot back to meet the left, and we're back in our downward facing dog. One more opportunity for a vinyasa here. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Up dog or baby cobra. We're all going to find our way back to our Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. And then we're going to come onto the knees and find our Balasana, child's pose. So hips to the heels, forehead to the floor, surrendering again. And our warrior four, as some of us like to call it. Breathing in and out. Slowly making your way forward onto the belly. Let's go ahead and release the hips. We can take our favorite cheek to the mat. And let those hands fall alongside the hips with the palms face up. You can feel here how the shoulders start to melt towards the mat. Again, just opening up the back body and opening up along the shoulder blades. We'll bring the forehead to the floor. We're going to walk those feet together. And we're going to bring the hands out off of the mat. We're going to come up onto those fingertips, yeah? We're going to let those elbows move towards the sky. Feel those shoulder blades start to move together. And then we're just going to do a little bit of a moving, sort of pulsing up and down motion here in our sort of half locust, half cobra here. So on your inhale, as you reach the crown of the head and you lift, take it to the right, and then melt it down. Inhale, flow up, look left. And exhale, take it down. Keep going just like that. Use your inhales and your exhales to sort of help you in this fluidity, in this dance that you're doing. As we're working on our back, on our spine, as we're engaging the core. A little bit of work in those triceps. One more on both sides. After you finish that left side, let those fingertips float back. Take your opposite cheek to the mat. Bringing the forehead to the floor, flip those palms down. Let's inhale, lift the head and chest. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the feet. Exhale, release. Inhale, head. Exhale, down. Inhale, feet. Exhale, down. One more. Inhale, head. And feet. Now see if you can lift everything. Maybe even those arms. And for a challenge, maybe even take them over the head. Exhale all the way down. Bringing those hands up underneath the shoulders. Let's press ourselves up into a table. It might feel good here to take a cat-cow or just shake the hips from side to side. Maybe even those big rolls. If you do that, make sure you're going in both directions. Honor your body, whatever it needs. Sometimes these little moments of organic movement can be very telling, right? We just really go into ourselves and feel what it is our body's asking us to do. We'll know it because it's going to feel really good to be like, oh, yes, thank you, right? All right, we're slowly going to come down onto one hip. We're going to bring our legs out in front of us, sitting up nice and tall. Good. So finding our forward fold here in Paschimottanasana. If you want to explore, maybe since it's, morning and having maybe some bent knees, either start or through the entire fold, you might want to do that. It actually helps to pull those hips slightly more forward, keeping that back straight and the shoulders back. All right, you can draw the crown of the head forward. You can gently move those heels down, softening the knees if you want to try and explore straightening the legs. Inhale, find your way back upright. We're going to find our way down to the floor. As we bend our knees, I want you to bring the soles of the feet to the floor here and bring those hands out. We're going to do a little bit of core work. So all we're going to do is on our exhale, we're going to kind of come into that canoe. So we're going to let those legs go along in the crown of the head, lifting or looking at our toes. And then we're just going to pull it in. And then we're going to take it out. Bring it up, pull it in. Take it down. One more. This time, hold into this canoe pose, shoulders back, and then float down to the mat. Ah. So making our way into an inversion. Maybe you'd like to do bridge or supported bridge as a mild inversion, or maybe you'd like to do Viparita Karani with one block under the sacrum and the legs up, right? So bridge is an inversion, Viparita Karani is an inversion. If you have shoulder stand or a headstand in your practice and you'd like to jump into that, feel free, but take about 5 or 6 breaths in whatever inversion feels right to you. At the end, go ahead and release the feet to the floor. You've used a prop, you can take it out from underneath you. We're going to cross that right knee all the way over the left and bring those arms out to the side. Pull those knees up into the chest and then let the legs fall over to the left as you look over that right shoulder. Slowly unwrap the legs and come back up through center. Let's cross that left knee over the right and then lift them into the chest. Drop the knees to the right and look over the left shoulder. Unwrap the legs. Again, come back through center. And then any final movements before Shavasana. Final resting pose. So as we make our way into Shavasana, I like to bring my arms a little bit away from the body and open up my legs. Take that nice deep breath in and then exhaling, allowing the breath to move back into the unconscious. We're not thinking about that breath anymore, right? We're just softening. Let the face soften, jaw, neck, collarbones, the arms, the fingers, and the chest, belly, the hips and the thighs, shins and the tops of the feet, the toes and the spaces between the toes soften. The bottoms of the feet and the heels, calves, backs of the knees, backs of the legs and the glutes soften. Up through the back body, the spine, shoulder blades, back of the neck, wrapping all the way up and around the crown of the head. And we'll just stay here for another minute or two, getting ourselves into a state of fully present. Maybe even visualizing ourselves walking into the rest of our day with a different attitude, with maybe a more open heart. Remembering to pause. Remembering to consult our wise self, our true self, before we allow the things of the external to take over our inner peace. Maybe even taking a minute to just visualize being a lake where the top of the water changes based on the wind, weather, and forces beyond its control. But deep down, it's calm. It's steady. We can tap into that part of our being. As you're ready, beginning to make small movements, wiggling fingers and toes, letting those inhales be a little bit more generous and full. Exhales linger a little longer. As you're ready, bending the knees, soles of the feet come to the earth. In this morning practice, we'll roll to our left side, energizing the body, and then making our way upright to a comfortable seat. Let's close again with an Om. We haven't done that in a while. So bringing those hands together at heart center. Let's take that last breath together. Inhale. Exhale. We'll close with an Om. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.